Because obviously we're both in the real estate market, how can realtors improve the industry?
There's a lot of realtors out there. We just need to do it better, and I just think we as realtors need to give back more, whether it's with our time, money, advocating for something maybe that you're passionate about. For me, it's Valerie's House. And I hope other realtors also find that something that can help change their life and give back.
Welcome back to the Regenhard Report. We have an amazing guest, a dear friend, someone that I admire. Through the real estate community, I met Mike, and Mike McMurray is our guest today. And welcome to the podcast, Mike.
Thank you, Andrew. Pleasure to be here.
It's really an honor. I think one of the biggest things I've heard about Mike McMurray when I speak to other people is how great someone feels after communicating with you. If they've had an interaction with you, if they've had a deal with you, if they've had a phone call with you, they feel, and they've shared it with me, and I can attest to this, that they feel like they're happier, they're more blessed, they're excited, they're motivated, different things like that. So, one of the things, Mike, is I just want you to know is I admire the impact you have on other people.
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. And I think that's what's made me a great realtor, hopefully.
Yeah.
Is because I care about people and not just about the client, but my peers too. I can be a little hard, but I expect people's best.
Yeah.
Because I try to give my best.
The thing about real estate, it's not an easy industry.
No.
You're dealing with multi-million-dollar purchases. Sometimes the biggest purchase of people's lives, and it could be all of what they worked their whole life to have, and they're about to spend it with you. So you kind of got to be tough. You kind of got to make sure it all goes perfectly, right? But there's a way to do it respectfully.
Yeah. I'm very serious about what I do.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Yeah. Well, it's apparent, and for the audience out there, Mike is at the top of the list from a volume standpoint and all that kind of stuff. He's absolutely crushing it, and so it goes to show that you're doing the best for your clients because they keep using you.
I appreciate it. And again, I'm at this point in my career, not that I'm slowing down at all. I always say to people, as long as my body and my mind can do this, I'm going to keep doing this.
Right.
Because again, it's about helping people.
Yeah.
And it just goes, also too, I get to make some money and help provide for my family. Yeah. But it's not about the money whatsoever. I mean, I've always said that. Mm-hmm. I love what I do. I just get a big enjoyment of helping people. And that's the satisfaction to me, is knowing that I actually helped someone, whether it's buying or selling, the stories, I tell people all the time, I get to sit in the most private space, and that's your home, on your couch, and talk with you about one of the most important decisions that you're going to make in buying or selling a home, property.
Yeah. And navigate them and push them in directions and lanes that they need to be in and sometimes don't want to be.
Yeah. It's about relationships. There are some people that, Mike, I just want you to sell my house. And you get those people. Right. Mike, I got enough relationships in the business or in my life. I don't need another relationship.
It's more transactional at that point.
But I do get a lot of people. One of my clients that I can mention that, not her name, but they bought a house from me, her and her husband. It was a second home on Sanibel. And this was 15, 20 years ago. Yeah. And she lost her husband. And she called me up and she said, Mike, I want to sell the house. Lou just passed. And it's time for me to let the home go. He wouldn't want me to, but it's time to sell the house. And she did this over the phone. I went to the house, looked right in her eyes and her face, and I said, let's sit down. And, after our talk on the couch, a little crying, remembering Lou, I said, Margaret, I don't think it's time to sell the house. Mm-hmm. I think you need more time. Mm-hmm. And she said, I think you're right. And then 6 months later, she called me again. Came to the house, front door, looked in her eyes, looked a little bit better, but she still wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Next time I came over to the house, a couple of months later, I said, you're ready to sell the house, aren't you? We sold that house in 2 weeks, and she did very well on it, but it was time. Mm-hmm. And that goes into Valerie's house. Right. She was going through a grieving process. Right. And those are the kind of things that we go through in real estate about helping people, that you have to take yourself out of it It's not about your pocket. It's not about you. It's about the client.
Right.
It's about them.
You got to best represent them.
Yes.
And people forget about that.
Yeah.
They look internal sometimes, or they look at the commission, this, that, whatever, right? That's not what you're doing in this business.
No. When I sell a home, when I'm representing a buyer, I've sold homes. I didn't even know what the commission was.
Yeah.
I just was excited to help that person buy that home because I knew that home was perfect for them.
I'm going to switch gears for a second. When did you get into real estate?
30 years ago when I was 23, 24.
So this is all you've done pretty much.
Yeah. And
you love it.
again,
It's
I was
amazing.
blessed.
Yeah.
I went to college. College didn't work out for me so much. I didn't like to go to class. I went to college going to play football, and that didn't work out.
Right.
And it was one of the only things I ever gave up on is my football in college because I wasn't mentally prepared. I was thinking about what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
And not having fun and enjoying the moment as playing football in school. I was thinking about what am I going to do?
Right.
And then I got out of college and I got into real estate. And it was about helping people. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And that's what we should be doing in our life in general, with
Everything.
friends, everything you're involved with. It's about people.
It's always people.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I said about you was your reputation, right? It didn't happen overnight. You've been doing real estate for 30 years. You've been maintaining a reputation. I can honestly say because everyone talks to me and likes to share news with me and kind of complain to me, right? As I'm, whatever. I will say this, there's not a bad comment. There's nothing but amazing things said about you. How did you maintain such a great relationship over the 30 years, but also build such a good reputation of who Mike is?
I just, I've always wanted to try to set a standard, and excellence. And, but also along the way, just, treating the human spirit with respect and respecting others, even though we're in a very competitive business. And there are times when it's tough. And, with agents and things like that, I can have a bad day just like anybody. But I'm a very empathetic person. And I'm a very giving person. Sometimes people say to a fault. But if that's my fault, then I guess that's my fault. But I think just doing your best and treating people with respect, your peers, naturally your customers and clients, and those simple words that hopefully we all grew up with: trust, honesty, hopefully integrity, character, all those things that were instilled with me as a kid. My brother, my sister, my mom, the rock of our family.
Right.
I lost my dad when I was young. Didn't come from anything, so we can get into that when we get into Valerie's house a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that's just how I was raised.
Yeah.
And you don't forget where you come from.
No.
No matter how successful you are in life, never forget where you come from.
So you've really stayed even keel, right? Because real estate's ups and downs and different things like that. The highs and lows of you're under contract, you're out of contract, you're about to close, you're not closing anymore, whatever. But also too, sounds pretty grounded, right? For you can't forget on where you came from.
No. Well, it's my name, McMurray.
Yeah.
It's my brother's name. A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
My brother's a pretty successful developer with Lennar.
Yeah.
My mom, my dad that I lost. My sister. That name means something to me. I got to live by that. And my kids and my wife.
Yeah.
And I've raised 3 girls, me and my wife.
Amazing.
Beautiful girls, great girls, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I think I've told you my 3 passions are my family, my work, and Valerie's house.
It's amazing.
And all those things.
How do you stay in
people.
line? Yeah. How do you stay in line with those 3 though? Those are huge things. Those are huge commitments from a time standpoint, financial standpoint, energy standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Mental capacity, right? How do you stay aligned with those 3 and do not get, in a sense, veered off or distracted?
Mental health, as we all know. And you've got to be mindful of that. You've got to be aware of that, those kind of things, because you are pulled in a lot of directions, especially when you're a giver. Hopefully like I am, and someone that cares about people. People pull at you, you know,
Right.
and you got to set some boundaries, but, you know, I probably need to set a few more, but it's just tough. It's tough, but, you know, I've always battled through it. And in our good times and bad times, I've always just stayed, like you said, pretty grounded and just lived my life. And nothing's ever really changed my values, my principles.
So really set the boundaries, set the values, set your principles.
Yeah.
Internally, right?
Yeah.
From Mike first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which obviously aligns with, you know, your last name and your family and all the other stuff. But it sounds like it's starting at the top. It's starting within Mike's mind, right?
Yeah.
And then everything else will kind of follow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that might sound kind of, I mean, I don't want to say that's kind of selfish, you know,
It's not
with
selfish
me.
at all, Mike.
Yeah.
You have to, it's just like a business.
think
It
about
starts from
you.
the top, goes down. If the leader is, not doing well for the business or not taking it serious, why would anyone else?
Yeah.
And the same thing for you,
Yeah.
you and your family, you and your business, you and your, spiritual, anything, right?
Yeah.
You have to do it first
Yeah.
internally.
Yeah. I think I'm a leader, but I'm not a leader in a way where I feel like I have to be so out front. I want other people to be out front too, if not as much as me. You know, yeah, I might be on the billboard, but when I first started the team, it was the whole team.
Right.
And my marketing guy said, no, Mike, you're going through a transition right now. You need to be on the billboard. But I put all the team members up there because I had said, I don't want them to feel less.
Right.
But they also have to pull their weight because you just do.
All right.
So,
Hey, running a team is no joke. Talk to
not.
people all the time.
Yeah.
Talk to a lot of agents, and it's a good idea for a lot of people. They think it's a good idea. It's not for everyone.
It's really not about the money to me.
No.
It's really about helping other people, again, helping others grow. Just like I got some help when I first started. I don't forget all those people when I first started the business, and some of those people have passed away.
Yeah.
I don't forget them.
Say that again. Team building or running a team is not for the money. It's for helping people. Because anyone that's out there in real estate that's thinking about a team, most of the time it's the opposite. They
Yeah.
think it's because of the money.
Yeah. I think it's about
not.
helping people.
It is. 100%.
And helping. I've got this young guy, and I got a couple of young guys, and I got a new young guy, but it's up to them. It's up to them in the end, but I'm going to help them. You know, I always tell people that the grass isn't greener somewhere else. You make the grass green. I just help fertilize it.
Yeah.
And I think I got good fertilizer because I care about people. You know? So
You do, Mike. And I want to talk about that. Let's talk about Valerie's house a little bit here.
Yeah.
So when did you stumble upon Valerie's house?
about 7-8 years ago, I was at a Fine Mark Bank event. Fine Mark Bank, great leaders and great people there. But they had an event, and I was there. Don't go to a whole lot of events. I'm very private outside of real estate. Even though you get all the marketing stuff and you're on a billboard and postcards, all that. That's just what you got to do in real estate. To
Yeah, but
brand
there's an
yourself.
on switch and an off switch. And
Yeah.
sometimes you need that off switch.
My off
right?
switch is when I get home and I'm with my family, and it still goes on there. But
Right.
I went to an event, and someone that I knew there said, Mike, I want you to meet someone. And that someone was Angela Melvin.
Yeah.
I get a little choked up about it
Yeah.
because at 56 years old, where I'm at right now in my life, and
Yeah.
Angela said this to me just recently. She said, Mike, you know, you've been successful in real estate, a husband, a father, your career, everything. You didn't think that you were going to find something at this part in your life that you would be so passionate about. And that started like 6-7 years ago at that Fine Mark event when I first met her, and we had similar stories. She lost her mom in a car accident at 10 years old here in Southwest Florida. She grew up
Yeah.
here, 4th generation, I believe. And I lost my dad at 10 years old in a tragic car accident.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff there. Grief never goes away.
No.
And that's what Valerie's House is about. It's about working with kids and families that grieve over the loss of a loved one. And I was one of those kids.
Right.
Now, still am,
Right.
because grief goes in waves. You
Some
know,
days are good. Some days are bad.
mental health, goes in waves.
Yeah, I wasn't a kid when I lost my dad. It was 2020
Yeah.
when I lost my dad. So 4 years now, and but yeah, some days I'm blessed that he's looking down on me, and it's not impacting me too much. And then other days, like the wedding and different things,
Yeah.
like it pulled pretty hard.
He wasn't
right?
here with you.
Right, exactly.
He was with you, though.
He was
because
with
you,
me.
Yeah.
Right, but he wasn't here physically.
Yeah, our loved
right?
ones never leave us.
No.
We always tell people that 1 in 6 kids before the age of 25 will lose a sibling or a parent.
That's crazy. 1 in 6 and under 25.
Under 25 here in Florida.
Wow.
That's statistics.
That's
1 in 6
sad.
kids. I mean, that's incredible. We think about grief, death, and it's almost like something you just don't want to talk about. It's like, you're going to be okay. They're going to be okay.
Right.
They're strong.
Right.
Just like my mom and my parents and my mom and my brother and my sister were with me. Oh, he'll be fine. It wasn't fine. Just this past Thanksgiving, I just saw, why would you want to? I saw the accident, the scene of when my dad died. Just now at 56 years old.
Wow.
And I was like, my brother, why didn't you show this to me before?
Right.
It was healing on
Right.
Thanksgiving. But then I looked at, okay, who was driving that truck that my stepfather crashed into when he fell asleep? That semi. And I looked at him and I said, I hope he didn't live with that for the rest of his life.
Right.
Where's he from? What
Yeah.
did he do? When did he pass? Just passed not too long ago. War hero
Wow.
from Alabama. But he had to get out of that truck and see my dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
It is.
And that's what these kids are going through, not all through a car accident,
Right.
cancer, overdose, homicide, all these kids. And that's the beauty of Valerie's house, because it's support and they're not alone.
Yeah.
And they're there to talk openly with others just like them.
So now you're there, you're helping, right? Valerie's house is amazing. We're obviously, when you're listening to this here on Thursday, if you're listening to this when it releases on Monday, Thursday we'll be having an event there for real producers. Obviously, real producers about getting together, as you guys, the top agents, and we love that. But one of the things we're passionate about is if we can always help in some way at our events, local charities, and organizations that are giving back. And so in this case, we're going to be at Valerie's house. So shout out to Valerie's house for allowing us to be there and shed some light on what they are doing. And I hope if you are there, you'll be able to be more involved, if it's a time, financial, different things like that, and help these kids. So you've been involved. You're there all the time, right?
Yep.
And then on top of that, you financially are helping, right?
I've always given. I think we all give. It's easy to write a check.
Now, do you just write a check, or do you do it out of like certain transactions? Because I know
I do it all. I mean, I kind of do it all. I know
some people that literally they designate an X amount of percentage of whatever commission or this and that. So it's interesting. I just always curious on how people do it.
I think we as realtors have to give back. We can't just take from the community. We have to give back.
Would you have a business without the community?
No,
No,
not at all. And
right?
we have an amazing community.
Right.
We have an amazing community. Very philanthropic. What is
Philanthropic.
it? Very philanthropic.
I struggle with that word all the time.
Very giving community, whether it's Naples, that's Fort Myers, Sanibel Captiva.
I know Naples took it just because obviously the amount of wealth that's in Naples, but they did get voted, or it was registered as the #1 most philanthropic city or town in the I don't think world, right? I don't think they can do that, but I think it was in the United States at least, which is impressive.
Well,
right?
all these people
we're
are
a small town.
Well,
small
all
city.
these people are coming from all those places. So, maybe their main residence is up north.
Yeah.
But they're coming here and they're enjoying our sunshine. They're enjoying our beaches. They're enjoying our weather, everything. So they have to give back.
I know.
They can't just come here and enjoy. They do have to give back, and they should give back.
I know.
Because they're also getting maybe tax incentives by living here too.
Right.
So, and I think that's not why they do it. I just think it's the people that come here. A lot of our people are from the Midwest and Northeast, but Southwest Florida anymore. People coming from all over the world.
You said that's not the reason why they do it. right? Things come back in other ways. And I want to ask a little bit more of a personal question that is related to business, and that's, you're not giving, you're not helping at Valerie's House, you're not being philanthropic because you will receive deals or receive business from it. I know that. And people don't do that, right?
No.
There is some people, unfortunately, that do that. But you're not, right?
No, I never ask for money.
But
I
it does
never
come back,
ask
right?
For money. My clients, one of my clients said to me one time, and he, very wealthy man, just became a new client. He said to me one morning, he called me up and he goes, Mike, what do you do for fun? He said, you've done such a great job for me. You've done all this stuff for me to help me with this transaction, this home that I'm buying. What do you do for fun? I said, well, Tim, I said, it's my family, my work, and Valerie's House. He said, what's Valerie's House? And I said, we work with kids and families that grieve over the lost one. We work with kids that grieve over the loss of a loved one. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, it's called Valerie's House. He said, really? Okay. Calls me up a couple days later. He goes, Mike, he said, could you send me information on Valerie's House? I said, sure. And so I sent him information on Valerie's House. Calls me up one morning. He said, Mike, I'm going to give you X amount of money, quite a bit of money, not just $1,000, $10,000, quite a bit of money. New client, doing my job,
Right.
what you're supposed to do in real estate. Wasn't asking him for money for Valerie's House whatsoever. He said, Mike, I just want to tell you, I looked at the organization and I've read up a lot, and you guys are doing incredible things there. I lost my wife when I was 21 years old.
Wow. Young.
With our soon-to-be daughter.
Yeah.
In a car accident.
Yeah.
Changed my life forever. He goes, so let's start with this. He
Wow.
still today gives. He's not from here.
That's crazy.
He's from Boston. Great guy. And just a fantastic guy.
That's
and he's
amazing.
all about giving. And so that's how we raise money. That's how I raise money.
Right.
And then at the end of the transaction, he goes, Mike, I want to give you extra money as a bonus because you did so well. And I go, Tim, I already got paid in my commission. He goes, well, I'm giving you extra. And I said, well, number one, I can't do that.
Right.
You'd have to go through the real estate brokerage. I said, but I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
Just give another donation to Valerie's House. And that's what he did.
So I want to diagnose or kind of pick apart that you continuously do the right thing, and people forget sometimes because they get in a world that is very aggressive, in an industry, let's say real estate, that's very aggressive and very dog eat dog world kind of thing. Stop and remember, if you're doing the right thing, it will come back to you.
That comes back to you tenfold.
100%. Right?
Doesn't mean in business. Just means in life in general.
It means in life, but your life is three things: business, family, and Valerie's House, right? Obviously, what you just said about Valerie's House, my assumption is he's probably now still a close companion that, probably your family's close to or whatever. And then the other thing, business, I guarantee if he needs you down here, and you said he's not from here, but if he needs you down here, you'll be the realtor, right? Yeah. And then I guarantee he's probably referred people to you, because of how amazing and impressive you were, and how happy he was to deal with you, and how you kept doing the right thing. And I think people need to realize that it's not a tick for tat, right? You doing the right thing will always come back in all those different avenues.
I always tell people, maybe, I think I've always been this way. I'm not a guy that carries around a business card too much. I got them, but I probably don't have any right now. But people ask me for my card all the time, and I say, we can trade text, whatever it is, and however it is, I'll get you a business card or I'll email you. But, if you want my help, I'm here. Mm-hmm. And that's what I always tell people. I'm not going to bug you. Mm-hmm. I don't bug people.
No.
But am I going to help you if you want my help? Of course I'm going to help you. But I want you to, you're going to
serve them.
Yeah.
If
I'm
they
here
want,
to serve them.
if they want it, but they also, if they need it too. Right? You're not obviously trying to force them, to buy or sell. You're there to serve. And sometimes you're talking them off a ledge, right?
Yeah.
When they're going like your client going through that process of grieving, hey, you're not ready, and so sometimes you're advising them not to do a transaction, and that's transaction how you make a living, right? Yeah. But again, you're doing the right thing.
In a transitional market like we've been in,
right?
That's when my service and who I am serves people very well. And you've got to be able to do that. You've got to look past your pocket. You've got to look at their pocket, and you've got to advise them properly.
Yeah.
I've told people many times, nah, I wouldn't sell right now. Or let's pull that off the market. Mike, you want to reduce the price? Nah, let's wait on that. Not enough going on. I don't think that's going to, So you've just got to be able to advise people, have a pulse for the market, do the right thing, all that kind of stuff. And think about them.
Think about them and be in their shoes too. Like if you were there, right?
Yeah.
Don't think about you as the beneficiary from a commission standpoint. Think of you as a beneficiary if you were in their shoes.
Yeah.
Well, what would you want to do?
Yeah.
Right? Always treat them, treat others like you want to be treated.
I want the best representation that I possibly can get. Someone that's going to market my property, but also represent me the way I expect to be represented, with that trust and honesty, and what's best for me.
Yeah. Because obviously we're both in the real estate market. How can realtors improve the industry?
Well, I think, again, there's a lot of realtors out there. We just need to do it better. And those that do it better will stand out. And I just think we as realtors need to give back more, whether it's with our time, money, advocating for something maybe that you're passionate about. For me, it's Valerie's House. And I hope other realtors also find that something that can help change their life, and give back, whether it's some nonprofit, whether it's, kids in sports leagues or whatever it is, just giving back to the community and really giving back for all the right reasons. Not so much where you're going to receive something back. You should be receiving by just giving.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing, especially in my time in my life, where 56 years old, still going to do a long time, going to be in this for a long time. But I was very blessed to find Valerie's House in this part of my life, another passion.
Yeah.
And I just encourage and I hope that other realtors find what I've found, some other passion besides just real estate, making money. Those three things are all about people.
Right.
And I've been blessed. I've been extremely blessed.
Yes,
So
that's amazing.
That's the secret of my success, is just giving back and caring for others.
If you guys wanted the secret sauce, there it is.
That's the secret sauce. It's nothing. And a lot of hard work along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And very serious about what you do.
A little bit part, yeah.
But all three of those things, taking them at 110%, whether it's your family, whether it's Valerie's House, if it's golf, 110%.
Yep.
If not, why do it?
Right. Yeah. My dad always said, if it's not worth doing, don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Right? Never half-ass anything. So, hey, man, Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. If you guys obviously want to get to know Mike or reach out to him, talk to him, his information is on Billboard, so it won't be hard to find him. We'll put, you can always reach out to us, or we'll have your information below. But also too, if you'd like to learn more about Valerie's House, reach out to Mike, reach out to Valerie's House, talk with them. They can provide you a lot more information. If you're a top agent here in Fort Myers, we'll see you guys on Thursday at Valerie's House. Appreciate you so much for coming on here, sharing your story, talking about who you are, being vulnerable, talking about your success. We appreciate you coming on here.
Being open and vulnerable, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
The people that say that's a weakness. No, the weakness is not being open and vulnerable.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thanks again. We appreciate you, Mike. I appreciate you. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Reg and Hard Report.
Thanks, Andrew.